Welcome back to EK Shop. Today I'm going to make an art box for my daughter. So my daughter really loves to draw, and I'm gonna make her a little art box out of this Purpleheart. So I don't know if you've ever worked with Purpleheart before, but it is extremely heavy, dense, difficult to work with, but it is a lovely purple. So first thing I'm gonna do is take this over to my table saw and make it lighter. This is about an inch thick, and it would make an extremely heavy art box for a little kid to carry around. So when you buy hardwood from a hardwood store, at least locally for me, only one side is square and jointed. This edge on this board for me, and the other side is kind of rough cut and not square. So really the first order of operations when dealing with partially milled and partly dimensioned lumber is to square up your second edge. So now this face is parallel and square to this face. So the next thing I'm gonna do is resaw the thickness of the board. So I'm gonna split it basically down the middle, very carefully, using a feather board to help give me some stability in the cut. So I'm not gonna cut all the way through at once. My table saw can't raise the blade high enough, so I'm gonna make two passes. I'm gonna go through once and flip it over and cut through the other side. There we go. And now my saw blade is completely dull from this Purpleheart. Oh hey, if you'd like to see how I made this marking knife, check out my previous video. so I sized this groove to accept 1/4 inch plywood, as the plywood will serve as the base of this box to save on weight instead of making it heavy with more Purpleheart. Now there's a rabbit on the opposite side of the groove for the plywood. This is for the lid later. So before I glue it up, I have sanded the inside surfaces to 400 grit. I'm gonna throw some Danish oil on there. It's one of my favorite finishes. I'm gonna let it cure, and then I'm going to wax all surfaces that are not being glued. That way glue cleanup is easier after the miters all get glued together, basically. Alright, so here are all the parts for the top. This is slightly wider than the sides, so I cut it to width to match the interior dimension of the box. And then these little pieces are all going to get glued to that. And all these little pieces have a groove to correspond with the groove on top of the box. So what this does is it'll make a lid, but my daughter will still have an extra inch or so of storage in the top, you know what I mean? It gives a little more room this way inside of the actual box. Alright, so everything is glued up, and this is how the lid fits on the main body. So the groove inside the lid, the rabbit, corresponds with the groove on the outside of the main body of the box. So next thing I'm going to do, before I go any further, is I'm going to knock these corners off so they're not sharp for a little kid to carry around. So that way if my daughter bumps it, it doesn't hurt her. So we can make it nice and rounded over and smooth. I'm gonna opt to probably use either my belt sander or maybe some files. My experience trying to route Purpleheart, it didn't work out for me last time. So it kind of scarred me with Purpleheart. So I'm probably just gonna sand it round. There, now all the corners are broken. Nice and round, just slightly, just enough so it's not a sharp edge. And now I will finish sanding this thing. So everything is sanded to 400 grit now, Now this is about half as smooth as I'm going to leave it. So meaning I'm going to take it up to at least 800 grit for the final sand. But I'm going to start putting some Danish oil on the Purpleheart to fill in some of the pores. So I'll probably put 2 or 3 coats of Danish oil on, and then I'll knock it back with 400 grit again before I go on to 800 grit. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Lots of room for my daughter's little art supplies, and now she can take them wherever she goes. I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'll see you. Do you like your art box?
Yes.
You can take your art with you everywhere?
Yes. Glitter crayons. What's this again?
A drawing pad.
Drawing pad.